Do you notice everyone around you seems distracted, numb, almost spiritually asleep, scrolling endlessly, chasing empty things, completely disconnected from anything deeper? What if this isn't accidental, but the result of an actual battle being fought for human souls right now? The Bible describes this directly. We do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the cosmic powers over this present darkness. Modern spiritual warfare is more insidious because it's cloaked in cultural sophistication, using entertainment, education, and media as conduits for deception. Ephesians 6:12 isn't metaphorical. Paul describes an actual intelligence working against human flourishing. We do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the cosmic powers over this present darkness. These aren't abstract concepts or internal struggles, they're organized spiritual forces with specific strategies. Notice Paul's language: wrestling, armor, weapons, standing firm. You don't arm yourself against a feeling or a bad mood. You arm yourself against an enemy that thinks, plans, and adapts its attack based on your weaknesses. The enemy's primary battlefield isn't your circumstances, it's your mind. Because whoever controls your thoughts controls your actions, and whoever controls your actions controls your life. Spiritual attacks don't start with possession or dramatic manifestations. They begin with something far more subtle and effective. The primary tactic is to attack the mind. Fear isolates you from community that could strengthen your faith, convincing you that you're alone in your suffering. Temptation redirects your attention toward temporary pleasures that leave you spiritually empty. Pride convinces you that you're self-sufficient and don't need spiritual connection. Distraction floods your mind with endless noise so you can't hear God's voice. Isolation cuts you off from the very relationships designed to anchor you. These aren't random psychological struggles, they're targeted attacks designed to sever your connection to what actually matters, leaving you spiritually defenseless and emotionally depleted. Looking at how spiritual warfare targets your mind through fear, pride, and distraction, which of these attacks do you recognize most in your own life? Comment your answer below. Now let's look at why modern culture seems perfectly designed to amplify these exact vulnerabilities. Social media culture has engineered the perfect execution of these exact attacks. The average person now spends 2 hours and 31 minutes daily on social platforms. Not passive consumption, but active participation in a system built around comparison, instant gratification, and endless distraction. Every feature amplifies the biblical playbook: infinite scroll fragments your attention span through compulsive checking. Algorithmic feeds trigger emotional reactions: envy, outrage, inadequacy, keeping you engaged but spiritually depleted. The platforms exploit dopamine loops, fear of missing out, and the hunger for validation, separating you from authentic community and genuine purpose. Consumer culture mirrors this exactly, constantly presenting lives you don't have, possessions you lack, experiences you're missing. This isn't accidental. It's the ancient strategy of using comparison to breed discontent, isolation disguised as connection, and distraction masquerading as entertainment. These attacks don't work in isolation, they work together. Fear-based media floods your mind with constant threats you can't control, keeping you in chronic anxiety that isolates you from community. Social platforms exploit comparison and envy, showing you curated lives you don't have while triggering dopamine loops that fragment your attention span. Consumer culture presents endless material pursuits that promise fulfillment but deliver spiritual emptiness. Add constant stimulation through notifications, infinite scroll, and algorithmic feeds designed to keep you engaged but never satisfied. The result is millions of people who are spiritually numb, emotionally depleted, and completely unable to hear God's voice even when they desperately want to. This isn't accidental, it's the perfect storm. Paul doesn't just describe the battle, he gives you the solution. Daily prayer anchors you to God's strength. Scripture memorized becomes your ready weapon. Standing with other believers means you fight together, not alone. Awareness of the battle itself is half the victory. Once you recognize fear, comparison, and distraction as organized attacks rather than personal failures, you've already shifted the ground. The enemy wants you isolated, spiritually numb, convinced you're fighting alone. But when you name these attacks for what they are and respond with the tools God provides, prayer, truth, community, ruthlessly limiting the digital noise designed to fragment your attention, you discover something that changes everything. You don't fight for victory. You fight from victory because Christ has already defeated Satan at the cross. You wear this armor to stand firm in a battle already won. Subscribe for more biblical truth about modern life, and watch this next. It's about prayer as spiritual